Yeah. 1, 2, 3, pasa el guaro. Y sin estrés, que es caro. Te gustan los chicos malos. Y se te ve que ella es como Jordan. Facilito las anota. Y ella se le ve la nota. Que se mueve como loca. Ella es como Jordan. Facilito las anota. Y ella se le ve la nota. Que se mueve como loca. Yeah. Esa Julieta no necesita su Romeo. A esas caderas todo le creo. Y esta manera de perreo. Bájale al fuego porque esto se puso feo. Aquí un paisita con la de Ponce. Ella la mala y apelando el bronce. Yo flow Maluma, tu flow Beyoncé. Pega esto pa' que sientas el roce. Con su flow gemelita de J-Lo, de J-Lo, de J-Lo. Nunca le dice que no, a que no, a que no. A perrele reggaetón, ton, reggaetón, ton. Con su flow gemelita de J-Lo, de J-Lo, de J-Lo. Nunca le dice que no, a que no, a que no. A perrele reggaetón, ton, reggaetón, ton. Ella es como Jordan, facilito las anota. Ella se le ve la nota, que se mueve como loca. Ella es como Jordan, facilito las anota. Ella se le ve la nota, que se mueve como loca. Yeah. Yo le doy un flow a mi bebé la pupi. Le doy un guarito pa' que deje el tutti frutti. Pa' que no se estrese y solo me va a hacer booty. Izquierda, derecha con su movimiento sutil. Nos noquea como lo haya en el ring. Nunca pasa moda como la era de los memes. De toda la peli ella es la mejor sin. La bebé esta cara y eso que no sea Supreme. Con su flow gemelita de J-Lo, de J-Lo, de J-Lo. Nunca le dice que no, a que no, a que no. A perrele reggaetón, ton, reggaetón, ton. Con su flow gemelita de J-Lo, de J-Lo, de J-Lo. Nunca le dice que no, a que no, a que no. A perrele reggaetón, ton, reggaetón, ton. Ella es como Jordan, facilito las anota. Ella se le ve la nota, que se mueve como loca. Ella es como Jordan, facilito las anotas. Ella se le ve la nota, que se mueve como loca. Baby, presentando pa'
Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. Hope everyone is good today. Took an extra break yesterday because your girl needed it. It's the daily grind on these royal streets, and yeah, sometimes you need rest. Thank you as always for joining me today. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, please. Got a bit of a mix of news today, some good, some bad. But as I always say, just keep the good vibes. I do believe that one day it will just be nothing but good news. And anything that's kind of bad news, it will just be stuff that we'll be laughing at. Like, oh my god, Royal Rotorat was having a tantrum again. But it won't matter because they'll be so irrelevant that it just won't matter. I'm praying for that day. And I believe that that day will absolutely come. Right, let's get to it. Let's start with some good news, shall we? Give your girl a sec. Colleen, you said you're loving the new music. I'm glad you love the music. We like to switch it up every now and again here at Duchess of Success. Right, for those of you who still haven't watched Suits, and I am one of them, Suits, a complete series, is coming to Netflix. I actually thought that it was already on Netflix. I don't know why I thought that it. Oh, Netflix in the US on June 17th. Okay, that's probably why I was like, wait, wasn't it already on Netflix? Yeah, Suits is coming to Netflix in the US on June 17th. So anybody that hasn't watched it, you can go right ahead. And I guess this will inspire me to finally watch it because I've never actually watched Suits. So there you go. H9, it was on Amazon. Okay. I'm so sure that it was actually on Netflix, like in other regions though. Because I could swear that I saw it come up on my Netflix feed. All right, in other good news, the CEO of Kaboom has a message for the squad. Here it is.
Hi,
Right, but before I play it, Kaboom, for those of you who may not be aware, is the charity that we are raising money for, and they make play areas for disadvantaged children. So here's a video from the CEO.
Hi, I'm Lisa Ratliff. I'm the CEO of Kaboom. We are a national nonprofit that is on a mission to end place-based inequity for good. And I just wanted to send out a very heartfelt thanks to the Sussex Squad. You have captured our hearts and blown us away by how your community has mobilized around the world for our kids. You have raised collectively over $80,000 this month, and we just couldn't be more grateful for you and all that you do just to put your hearts into action and to support organizations like us who are living and breathing change for our kids and our future generation. Thank you so much for being part of our mission.
There you go. So, being recognized by the amazing organizations that we raise money for. And at the end of the day, this is really what matters and what makes this community incredible. Raising money and awareness for good causes on behalf of our faves. Meanwhile, some people's charities are shutting down left, right, and center. Some people don't visit their charities for 8 years and then get called out for it over Zoom. Some people's fan bases do nothing but throw tantrums all day. Like, the Rangers seriously focus more on Harry and Meghan than they do their own faves. And that's because most of them were never even Kate and William fans. They just joined the royal streets to hate on Harry and Meghan. But congratulations to the squad, as always, doing the Lord's work. There's a link if you haven't donated already, or if you cannot donate, just share the link around, please. Oh, yes, that is true, Patricia RN. More residual checks for Meghan. I saw a video of a guy who he had a couple of like one-line roles in TV and movies, and he was basically showing his residual checks. And some months it was just a few dollars, and other months it could be as high as $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for just like a few lines. So Meghan must still be raking it in from Suits. It was a very successful show, and here it comes to Netflix. Right. In other news, Philip Schofield. Philip Schofield claims to be completely broken and that he feels like he's been knifed by ITV bosses. Oh, poor Philip. Put all that effort into hating Harry and Meghan, and now he feels like he's been knifed. As this person said on Twitter, Philip Schofield worked on that show for 20 years and leaves overnight with no fuss, no final episode with all his favorite guests and contributors from over the years popping up to say goodbye. No videos from other celebrities wishing him well. He's done something bad indeed. And apparently, word on the street is there is some kind of gagging order that dissolves around July. This is what I'm hearing. So I think around July, August, we're going to start hearing some things. Because for sure, if they're not giving him a good, hearty goodbye, it's because they don't want to be seen as supporting him. And even yesterday morning, Dermot O'Leary and one of the other co-hosts of Good Morning, they gave a very short thank you and goodbye message, but you could see that they were very uncomfortable saying it. So for sure, something has gone on with Philip Schofield. I think we all have a general idea of what the allegations are. Don't want to get slapped with lawyers' letters, so I'm not going to get into it, but I think we all kind of know. Ooh. Sorry, got a little bit of echo there. And yeah, I guess in the coming weeks, we will see whether or not those allegations are true. But I believe they are, because all the evidence points to him being guilty of sin. Educate You said, I donated to Community of Motherhood and just received my t-shirt. Yay, amazing. Yes, that is the organization that Meghan supported for Mother's Day. And she also gave the CEO of that organization $5,000 when her son passed away. So loads of great causes for you to support. Okay. Rosa, you said the guy got paid 40K in residuals for saying just one word. Wow. That is crazy. Yeah, Patricia, they look like hostages during that tribute. They were like, you're going to make us say this? Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, karma's coming. Karma. Okay. What else? Charles. Apparently, the 250 million that we spent on the coronation wasn't enough. Charles is exhausted, barely a few weeks into officially becoming king. Obviously, the moment the last monarch dies, you are officially king, but with the coronation, it was official. And apparently, Charles is now retreating to his off-grid home in Romania, just to enjoy a little bit of a simple life. I've heard of this place in Romania, this Romanian hideaway, but I wasn't aware of how often Charles went there. It's like a little hidden retreat of his, but apparently he will be going there without Camilla, without the so-called love of his life. And so soon into your kingship? Like, are you done already? You can fly all the way to Romania, but you can't see your grandkids. Andrew Tate is in Romania, right? Say hi to Andrew. The other Andrew who's a nonce. All the Andrews seem to be nonces. Andrew Tate, Prince Andrew. Okay, so yeah, that's Charles. Sick and tired of being king already. Omid, our guy Omid. Omid took to the stand to give evidence in the hacking trial. He spoke about practices that he saw while he was an intern, including giving some evidence that Piers Morgan knew of hacking. And as a result, he is now being intimidated. He tweeted, bothering my friends, family, a lifetime of colleagues, inventing fake gossip to incite hate, all within days of me giving evidence in a media case. Not a coincidence. Been down this road many times now. I know exactly who is up to what, and I'm not going anywhere. Shout out to Omid for doing this. You know, he's really got nothing to gain from doing this. He's being harassed. This is witness intimidation. And I just wish him the best. And whoever is harassing him, and is obviously got to be the press vultures and possibly people from the palace, leave him alone. You know, no matter how much they want to intimidate Omid, Harry, Meghan, the truth is going to come out. And I absolutely believe that what happened the other night in New York was meant to be a lot more fatal than what it turned out to be. Thankfully, Harry and Meghan and their security were very smart and wise. But whoever is trying to harm the Sussexes, they need to realize that whether Harry takes to the stand or not, everything will come out. In fact, I would argue that, God forbid anything happened to Harry and Meghan, well, then you might as well just put everything out. Up until this point, I think there's a lot that Harry has held back. But if you do something to hurt his family or hurt him, well, why keep anything hidden? Put everything out there. You know, it's like they keep poking the bear. And Harry has made it very clear, I will protect my family. So, shout out to Omid for being so brave. All of this actually makes me more suspicious of that Carolyn Durant woman, because Finding Freedom was actually her idea. She asked Omid to come onto the project. And she has been quiet throughout the whole thing. Throughout the whole thing. Never stood up for Omid and harassment that he was facing throughout any of this, even before the trial started. And she has just been so silent. I believe that she actually has links to other tabloids, that she wrote for tabloids before. So I just find her silence to be it speaks volumes. Does it not speak volumes? And people have begun weighing in on what happened in New York to Harry and Meghan. Gail King saying it's troubling that people are downplaying Harry and Meghan's car chase, saying it's troubling to me that anybody would try to downplay what that would mean to them. That's very troubling to me, referring to the slew of media personalities and celebrities who have spoken out against the narrative that the two were chased in the streets of Manhattan. King said it's unsettling that some are trying to minimize how they felt in that moment. I am just really sorry it happened and very sorry that they had to go through it, said King, who was in Baltimore to give a commencement speech at her alma mater, the University of Maryland. Everybody can have all their opinions, but I always go back to how did they feel in that moment? Exactly. And a lot of people aren't asking that question because Harry and Meghan have been totally dehumanized. It's like they've just been turned into characters, and their names and their lives are just used to push this hateful narrative, to push clicks and make money. And that's what's just so troubling about all of this, is because how do you stop something that is literally an industry that makes a lot of people money? Hating Meghan is a billion-dollar industry at this point. How do you stop that? Because it's not even like Meghan speaks that often for you to be able to give critique. And critique is fair if you want to give it in a sensible, intelligent manner. But that's not what this is. Meghan could not speak for a whole year, and yet people want to speak for her and make up crap about her. So it begs the question, how are we going to get this under control if it's making so many people money? And I think the only way really is just to bankrupt the tabloids, to bankrupt the absolute monster created by this monster who looks like he has a monster growing out of his belly. Listen, we're all going to grow old. We're all going to age. But this right here, this is not natural aging. This is how you age when you have spent your whole life being evil. This is aging aided by evil. This is not natural aging. Looking like a whole living corpse, plotting to destroy a young couple because they decided to be happy and thriving together. Murdoch, hope your ending will be just like the amount of effort you've invested in destroying people's lives for your wealth. In the end, God always wins. Indeed. Absolutely vile man. And despite all of the hate that has been whipped up to try and attack this couple and to try and dehumanize them, despite the fact that that has led to several threats, that even a former head of the Met Police in the United Kingdom came out and said that there is very, very clear danger for this couple. There has still been a court battle as to why Harry can pay for his own security, not the British taxpayer. Harry wants to pay for it himself. And today, it came out that Harry lost his bid to bring a second legal challenge against the British Home Office over his security arrangements in the UK. This morning in the High Court, Mr. Justice Chamberlain refused permission for the Duke of Sussex to apply for a judicial review to challenge the decision that he should not be allowed to pay privately for his own security when in the country. The decision, however, does not mean this security battle is over. Harry has already won the right to a full judicial review against the Home Office over the main decision to deny him protective security. His lawyers can also appeal today's ruling. I think that in the end, even if they say, no, Harry can't pay for his own security, I think it's good that Harry has done this because it will prove that he tried to get security for him and his family and they basically put everything in his way. And it definitely now raises questions about Diana's security. Here is an article showing Kate Moss, who hired 35 police officers. The police deployed 35 officers to blockade the village for Kate Moss's wedding, comprising 1 inspector, 5 sergeants, and 29 PCs. Gloucester police said they devoted 350 man-hours to helping the model enforce a 2.7-mile exclusion zone around the church where she married, a Freedom of Information request from the Mirror revealed. The total cost of the police operation in the village of Souththorpe is estimated to have cost around £10,000. A spokesman said that the force would not be footing the bill. The event organisers are to pay the policing costs in full with relation to this event. So, the argument that you cannot pay for private security is ridiculous. It's false. You can. Here's the evidence right here. Celebrities do it all the time. And if Harry wants to pay for it himself and take that burden off of the taxpayer, why not let him? I also believe that on social media, the bot farms are still very much alive and well. Because when I went to a story, I think it was the BBC, when they tweeted about Harry being denied the security request, there were so many comments in the responses saying he should pay for his own security. I'm like, he's saying he wants to pay for his own security. So either some people in the UK have such low reading and comprehension skills, or they're bots. Because none of this makes any sense. Why are you denying security to someone who clearly needs it and they want to pay for it themselves? While you're still paying for Andrew's security. And Section 25 Police Act 1996, the chief officer of police of a police force may provide, at the request of any person, special police services at any premises or in any locality in the police area for which the force is maintained, subject to the payment of the charges, such as scales as may be determined by, and it goes on and on and on. But basically, you can hire private security. Sorry, give me a sec, folks. There's a lot of noise outside and I need to close the window. Okay. And so, it raises 3 points, as Miss Stephanie Brazen-Hussey said here. His mother did not refuse protection, she was denied it. And even if she did refuse it, well, she probably couldn't trust it. Harry, Meghan and their children have justification to never step foot on Salty Island again. Amen. He fought for his family and it is on record, so recollections cannot vary ever. Oy. I mean, this. You mean to tell me a boy who saw his mother going through this was never going to fight back? I mean, this right here, this was the wild, wild west. Diana is literally running in some of these pictures. And look at how close they are as well. And so aggressive. Oh dear. Right. Go to your comments before we continue. If you're just joining us, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, please. The Gracie Awards is coming up. Don't know yet whether or not Meghan will be there. Are there any squaddies who live in LA? Like, could you go down there, you know, take your cameras, start filming? If people start following them, you know, I feel like we need our own on the ground mafia squad at this point. Because like we need eyes and ears on the ground. Because they're now even denying things that could easily be proven didn't happen. All you have to do is get CCTV footage from all the areas in New York that Harry and Meghan were chased around. All you have to do is get the dash cam footage from their SUV, Harry's footage from his phone, and you have all the evidence there. Instead, they're trying to play this down and say it never happened. So I feel like we need to start having squaddies show up on the ground. Goodness knows, if Harry and Meghan came to London and they had an event and I was there, I'd be on the ground filming. I'd be there getting right in paparazzo's faces. I wouldn't hesitate. Because it's like, if you want to act like the mafia, we're going to treat you like the mafia. Oh. My gosh. Anthony Blair paid for his security some time ago. Yeah, I think I remember actually showing that on a slide before. I think Nicki Minaj did at one point. Oh. Kim Coach, you said, I smell Charles and Camilla's stink all over this one. Harry's not just a wealthy person, he's the king's son. If ever Charles wanted to extend a noble olive branch, this would be the time. Yeah. But they're all just so jealous. You know? They really thought that this smear campaign of theirs had worked. And boom! Here Meghan comes, signed to WME and Ari Emanuel. I want to know what's going on in Ari Emanuel's office. Because I'm sure he's been through some crazy ish throughout his career. I don't think he's ever seen anything like this. This is on a whole nother level. And this is also another reason why they have tried so hard to attack any work that Harry and Meghan do. With this whole, but they wanted privacy and why won't they just go away? Because if they go away, they can't work and they can't make money. And that's what they want. They don't want Harry and Meghan to be financially free and to be able to pay for their lifestyle, mostly their security. Their security bill must be in the 6-7 figures. It's gotta be. 7 figures easily. And at the end of the day, anyone who, through no fault of their own, but because of public interest, could be at risk of being in danger, should have security paid for them. Whether they're a royal, whether they're a diplomat, now even if they're just someone who's super famous, it's in the public's interest that you don't have a situation, you know, where someone like that could be taken for ransom, they could be harmed in some way, because you're going to spend more, or you could potentially spend more public service money in a situation like that than if you just protected the person. And Harry is a royal, born royal, not his fault. He served in Afghanistan. He should have security paid for him. Goodness me. Tamiko, you said, right, and they don't do not want Harry to have anything more than them. Yeah. Well, it's too late now. It's too late. They had their chance to collaborate with Harry and Meghan. They had their chance to have half in, half out. The chance is gone. You really fumbled. This is the ultimate fumbling of the bag. The bag has not been this fumbled in generations. Okay, next thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the kids know what's up. The kids absolutely know what's up. So the top 3 photos you see here are from the Chelsea Garden show. The 2 young boys in the middle there, their mothers are 100% squaddies. Those facial expressions say, my mother is a squaddie and she told me about you. This seems to be a common theme whenever Kate is around. Like, I could make 3 more collages of all different events where the kids all have this expression. And these are young kids. They've got smartphones. They've got TikTok. They've got Instagram. They know what's up. And kids will show their feelings. Unlike the adults that just go along to get along, kids will show their feelings. Sometimes they'll even say their feelings. Do you remember that incident where Kate had gone to a school and they were all sitting on the tables and the little one said, "What about Harry and Meghan?" And Kate rolled her eyes and said, "What else?" She rolled her eyes and clenched her jaw in front of children. That is how bitter this woman is. She couldn't even control herself. That mask slipped. That was quite a mask slip also. Could not contain her jealousy and bitterness in that moment. Incredible. Also, this was meant to be a surprise visit. Such a surprise that there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cameramen. If you go to the Royal Insta page and also the Kensington Palace Insta page, they have really increased their social media activity. So it's not just photos now, really kind of like high production reels. And it's not cheap. That's a lot of money that they're spending. Thank you to Carolita Simon for the super sticker. Much appreciated. All right. I think that I'm going to end things there. Thank you very much, everyone. We know why these peeps are jealous and they're going to have to get over it. Even if Harry and Meghan warped into a 5th dimension tomorrow and never came back, the royal family still cannot compete with the way the rest of the world is going. You have 16-year-old TikTokers that are more famous than the royals at this point, have more influence than the royals at this point. So their jealousy towards Harry and Meghan, it really just doesn't make any sense. Because they act as if Harry and Meghan are the only people on the planet that they're competing with. Like, no, you're competing with a whole news cycle. You're competing with the whole world that is moving on. And also, actually, before I end, the Middleton family. I feel like we're going to start hearing more about them. There is clearly a lot of dodgy things about this family that have remained hidden just because Catherine is married to William. And actually, I think that if William wants an out and he doesn't want to look like a complete douche by divorcing Kate, it wouldn't surprise me if you start seeing more and more negative articles about the Middletons. Or if we find out if there is a leak about what Uncle Gary has really been up to or about how they really make their money. For those of you who don't know, Catherine's brother, his business, Booth, went down with 800K worth of debt. This was a company that did printed marshmallows. I actually tasted them, by the way, once. I was at a corporate event and Booth was actually there. So I got a taste of them Middleton marshmallows. Pippa was also dropped by her agent. Her book flopped. And now Party Pieces has flopped also. And you got to wonder, where will these people get their money if Kate divorces William? They will ask for a huge payout. Right. And with that, we are done. Thank you as always, everyone. Okay, let's go to your comments before we wrap things up. Dawn Robertson, why are there reports that Meghan and Harry are getting a divorce? There are reports that Harry and Meghan are getting a divorce because they have to keep feeding the egos of the pick-me's that never got picked, that thought that their haggard selves had a chance with Harry. They want to believe that Harry is divorcing his wife and that maybe, just maybe, they will stand a chance. Well, I'm here to tell them that you hit the wall 10 times 10 years ago and you will never stand a chance. I did see a video from GB News talking about this. You got to remember, folks, that there is an audience for people who like miserable news about Harry and Meghan. So that is why GB News are making stories like that. Also, it's projection and distraction from the other royals. It's a distraction from the fact that Camilla is now the running the show, not Charles. It's a distraction from the fact that the Wells' marriage was pretty much done years ago, but is now hanging on a string. So they have to bombard you with Harry and Meghan are getting divorced to distract from that and to make the haters and the pick-me's feel better about themselves. They need a dose of misery to keep them going. As if the weather in the UK isn't miserable enough most of the time. No. We need some added misery. Yes, Mina, those kids were not having it. They were told a royal was coming. Maybe they thought it was Meghan. I haven't really been paying attention to this, but did Anne go to Canada? Can somebody confirm that? Because I typed in Anne Canada and it never came up on the Google News feed. So did she go to Canada? I can't even see anything on any of the royal Instagrams either. Because if she went to Canada, well, to me, it looks like none of the royal reporters went with her. You had a whole royal tour and no one paid attention. Can somebody just confirm that? Did anybody actually see any pictures? Jean, the pink dress is an offense. Apparently, she borrowed it from her mum. I saw loads of pictures of her and her mum were in the same dress. Yes, everybody's dirty laundry is coming out. Can it please come out faster? Because I feel like the faster their dirty laundry comes out, the faster they'll leave Harry and Meghan alone. Leslie, didn't her brother give a gift box that had those symbols on it? So the way Boomph worked was that you could upload your design onto their system and then the system would print that on the marshmallows. So clearly they didn't have any kind of regulations if a design that was offensive came through that they would stop the design. I think that's what happened. Yeah, Marina, US did not need party pieces. I'm surprised they even did that knowing how badly the business was doing. So those US investors must be pissed. Either they didn't do their due diligence or the Middletons managed to really sell it to them and weren't telling them the whole truth. And maybe that was like the last attempt to try and get some money into this family's business. But again, what does it say? All of the hatred that they are pushing towards Harry and Meghan It's not helping the other royals at all. Hating Meghan has not helped Kate's family. All these royalists that spend their time obsessing over Meghan, have you ever bought a single thing from Party Pieces? No. But let Meghan wear anything and it'll sell out in less than an hour. Carolyn, you said, what happened to the story of the weed growing in the field behind Middleton's home? I could not find any follow-up to that story online. All of the reports were just the initial discovery of the pot farm, and I couldn't find anything following that. Okay, so you lot are saying Anne went to Canada. She received some type of medal for something. Some type of medal for something. That's probably the best way of describing it. Oh, and she used taxpayer money, right, to get on a plane and get some kind of medal for something. Oh my God. For what? Pippa had a book. Yes. Well, I don't know if this is referring to her. So she had a charity book that was, I think it was like a low blood pressure recipes charity book that was for the Heart Foundation or something like that. So it was an actual charity book. This is another reason why I think they really attacked the Together cookbook. But anyway, the point I was trying to make is I don't know if that's the only book she had or she had other books as well. But nonetheless, she was dropped from her literary agent. I mean, presumably, if she put that book out, she would have wanted to put more books out. And at one point, they were trying to get her signed to an entertainment agency in the US. You can find footage of her. She did a small skit with who was it? Was it Matt Lautner? Remember the guy that got done during the Me Too movement? But that never went anywhere. She just didn't have the charisma for it. So again, it just goes back to this thing of they don't actually have an issue with Hollywood or actresses. Their issue is that they never had the charisma or star power to be able to pull it off. And then it's like Meghan came along and showed them how to do it. But yeah, Pippa had her go at books and Hollywood, and it never went anywhere. Do you know what I want to see? I want to see Meghan come out in a bonnet. In a bonnet and flip-flop. Like really just do it for the culture, Meghan. Do it for the culture. See if Duchess Copycat does that. Bonnet and flip-flops. Do you think Meghan wears a bonnet? What in the chat if you think Meghan wears a bonnet? For that curly hair. Or a silk scarf. Meghan strikes me as a silk scarf girl. She doesn't strike me as a bonnet wearer. Hashtag free the bonnet. Church Nelly, I want Meghan to wear her hair naturally. It would be great to see her with her curly hair, right? You all think that Meghan wears a bonnet? She doesn't strike me as a bonnet girl. Silk scarf or silk pillows. Okay. That is enough for today. Thank you as always, everyone. Thank you always for showing up. And listen, like I always say, we'll get to the other side. There's still some great positive things coming up. Meghan with the Gracie Awards. We'll see if she turns up. No word if she will so far. I hope she does. It is in LA, so they'll have a little bit more control of the space. But yeah. Thanks as always, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Ciao.
Lunes, ya. 1, 2, 3, pasa el guaro y sin estrés. que es caro. Te gustan los chicos malos. Y se te ve que ella es como Jordan. Facilito las anota. Y ella se le ve la nota. Que se mueve como loca. Ella es como Jordan. Facilito las anota. Y ella se le ve la nota. Que se mueve como loca. Yeah. Esa Julieta no necesita su Romeo. A esas caderas todo le creo. Y esta manera de perreo. Bájale al fuego porque esto se puso feo. Aquí un paisita con la de Ponce. Ella la mala y apelando el bronce. Yo flow Maluma, tu flow Beyoncé. Yo pega esto pa' que sientas el roce. Con su flow gemelita de G-Lo, de G-Lo, de G-Lo. Nunca le dice que no, a que no, a que no. A perrele reggaetón, ton, reggaetón, ton. Con su flow gemelita de G-Lo, de G-Lo, de G-Lo. Nunca le dice que no, a que no, a que no. A perrele reggaetón, ton, reggaetón, ton. Ella es como Jordan, facilito las anota. Ella se le ve la nota, que se mueve como loca. Ella es como Jordan, facilito las anota. Ella se le ve la nota, que se mueve como loca. Yo le doy un flow a mi bebé la pupi. Le doy un guarito pa' que deje el tutti frutti. Pa' que no se estrese y solo me va a hacer booty. Izquierda, derecha con su movimiento sutil. Nos moquea como lo haya en el ring. Nunca pasa moda como la era de los memes. De toda la peli ella es la mejor sin. La de esta cara y eso que no usa Supreme. Con su flow gemelita de G-Lo, de G-Lo, de G-Lo. Nunca le dice que no, a que no, a que no. A perrele reggaetón, ton, reggaetón, ton. Con su flow gemelita de G-Lo, de G-Lo, de G-Lo. Nunca le dice que no, a que no, a que no. A perrele reggaetón, ton, reggaetón, ton. Ella es como Jordan, facilito las anota. Ella se le ve la nota, que se mueve como loca. Ella es como Jordan, facilito las anota. Ella se le ve la nota, que se mueve como loca, baby. Presentando pa'
Hi, I'm Lisa Ratliff. I'm the CEO of Kaboom. We are a national nonprofit that is on a mission to end place-based inequity for good. And I just wanted to send out a very heartfelt thanks to the Sussex Squad. You have captured our hearts and blown us away by how your community has mobilized around the world for our kids. You have raised collectively over $80,000 this month, and we just couldn't be more grateful for you and all that you do just to put your hearts into action and to support organizations like us who are living and breathing change for our kids and our future generation. Thank you so much for being part of our mission.